What's up, everyone? You are listening to Invisible Voice. I am Tasrif. I am the one who pretends to be serious, and I have with me Shadman, who is a very chill guy. He plays game, GTA 5 especially, when we record our podcast, right, Shadman?
Yeah, I can't deny actually. Why did I even tell you that, man? That was a mistake.
No, it's not a mistake. It's I don't know how you multitask podcast and game at the same time. I guess you're very talented.
So, like, you were expecting some more seriousness from me, right?
I like the way you are. That's what I wanted to say.
Thanks, man.
All right. So I didn't have any topic, but there is an excuse, of course, because there is endless topic to talk about in a podcast, but
To
I ran
talk
out
about
of topic.
exactly, but like talking about in a very particular way, like in a podcast, it's hard to find a topic. But there are tons of topic you can just randomly talk about, right? We are facing that kind of blockage right now. Even I am having difficulties finding topics for my channel. So
That thing is that I think what is the problem is that in a podcast we have to talk about a topic for like an hour, right? That is the standard, and that
yeah,
is where is the problem lies, because talking about a topic for 5 minutes to 10 minutes is okay, you can do that, but talking about a topic for an half an hour is very hard. I think that's
half an hour,
why
and which
I
has to
was ran
make
out.
sense, right? That has to be informative,
Yes.
of course. That has to be informative, and that has to make sense. This is somewhat difficult. I face that kind of difficulties every time I like
Still,
searching for a topic.
there are endless podcasts and people talk about for like 2 hours, 3 hours, 1 hour, but we don't talk for that long. So that is it. But let's move on with
Yes,
today's topic. And I didn't want to talk about that because I think it is very controversial topic, and I know that some people
controversy is
will
fun, man.
disagree with me. You might, bro.
Okay, let's get
So
started with the topic. Then we will decide agree or disagree, or it's just a thing to talk. Yeah, let's
all right.
just drop down the
So
topic. Boom.
just let me
I'm just
straight ask
giving
you
the
the
drums.
question.
Ta-da-da,
All
ta-da-da-da.
right,
Okay,
let me just straightly ask you: are you a feminist?
again, question again, man. Why? Am I a feminist?
Yes.
I'm not a feminist, but I
You didn't like the
recognize
question,
the
didn't you?
rights of. Of course, I didn't like the question. What kind of question was that, man? I of course recognize
I
the
know.
name, like the rights and stuff of. It will shock anyone. Like it will like thunder anyone. Why would
Yes,
you
it
ask
will
that?
shock anyone. So I'm not gonna say that I
Yeah.
am not a feminist or not. I'm gonna say that later because I don't wanna have so many enemies right now. So yes, so you are not a feminist, right?
Yeah.
All right. So for those of you who don't know,
What feminism is?
for those of you who don't know what is feminist, basically feminists are who supports feminism is called feminist. And if I want to say about feminism, feminism is like what to say. Like if you Google what is feminism, you will find that feminism is the belief in social, economic, and political equality for those sexes. Although largely originating in the West, feminism is manifested worldwide and represented by various institutions committed to activity behalf of women's rights and interests. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that is correct. That gives the clear.
So it is like gender equality, right?
It is, yes, gender equality, woman empowerment. You can say what you want, but
But
those
that
are
is
like
where the
very
problem, I think.
exactly. There are these different terms were tabled for different purposes, right? Because if everything means
Yes.
same, this woman empowerment or like equal rights, gender equality means everything the same, then there should be one word. But these things, different words were tabled for different purposes. We will get onto that later. What we're saying, you were saying.
All right,
Yeah,
so
continue,
I
please.
was not into this kind of thing. I didn't know about feminism until like 10 or 15 days ago. So I came with that thing when I applied for college. And by saying college, a lot of you may think I am applying to university, not university, I mean college like school, because our education system is kind of weird. Can you explain?
Oh, there is like, let me explain. Like in Western world, there is two parts of education, or their educational system has two parts. From class 1 to 12, they call it school. Then there is high school, preschool, mid school, etc. But they call it school in total, up till
Yes,
12th. After that, they
12th
went to
grade.
college. Exactly. After that, they went to college. But in our education system, there is three parts. From grade 1 to 10, we call it school altogether. Then from
11
like
to 12.
11, class 11 and 12, we call it college. After that, next 4 years or like 6 years, we call it graduation or like university, from where you take baccalaureates and masters. That's it. So like our education system is kind of weird.
Yes, our education system is kind of weird. So we both passed 10th grade, and now I am a junior in school if you measure it in the international standards. So I'm a junior in school, and I was applying the other day, and I was applying to college, which is like school, but we say it college. So there I noticed something. When I applied to different kinds of college, like when I was searching for colleges and I wanted to study in a college with a morning shift, right? But what thing I noticed is that there was like 80% of the colleges were day shift for the boys and morning shift for the girls. Like, first of all, there is no combined education in 80% of the colleges, and second of all, you have this kind of discrimination. Like, what do you think of this?
Discrimination, I wouldn't say, but I think the college administration made it for like for discipline purpose, I guess. That one shift is for all
What
girls
kind of
and another
discipline
shift is for
purpose?
co-ed problems, I guess. Which is a problem in our country, by
What
the way.
problem?
Co-ed education system is a problem in our country.
So, like we talked about it earlier, that combined education
Yes.
should matter,
Sys-
right? So,
Yes.
first of all, there should be combined education in all of the colleges or like schools. But there is not that, but there is like this kind of discrimination where boys have to study in the day
There are
shift
different
and girls
shifts
have to
for
study in the
girls
morning
and
shift.
boys. So yeah,
Why can't you do that? Like for boys you study for morning, and for girls you study for day shift. Like that is not happening. If someone did that, then the all the girls, they would protest and like say that there is gender discrimination and all that. Like, don't you agree?
no. This is a
Why don't you agree? You are a feminist. You are a feminist.
bro, like you're taking it the wrong way, as everyone does. This is where the problem begins, actually. As I said
Explain me
earlier,
why I am taking it wrong.
explain you what,
Like, why it
explain
is
you
not
what.
a gender discrimination? Why is it okay with for
This
to
is
you?
not a gender discrimination.
Why?
Considering social security aspects, they decided the like administration or the mass parents or like mass people, girls should be attending morning shift and boys should be attending day shift. Considering the social security aspect, if you talk about this is going to get messed. Like there are other
I
things.
want this to get
There are
missed, but
many
I
other
want to
things.
be clear by
There are like many other topics. If we pull the strings, they are gonna come one by one. So this is gonna get messy. If you want, you can, but there is no, I guess. Yeah.
let's pull the strings. So, like, let me say
Okay.
by
Yeah.
like this. Like, I think what is the problem is with our mind setup. I think we see girls is like they're very insecure. That's what I think our mind works. Like, if we don't count girl as an counterpart of a male, then there won't be any gender equality. You have to agree with me that.
If you don't like, uh, would you please explain me the point one more time?
The problem is with our mindset. We don't like see a girl and a boy at the same scale, right?
The problem is in our culture. The problem is in our tradition. This has been going for centuries and like more
That's what I'm
than that.
saying. Like earlier, you talked about that would be safe for girls to study in the morning shift, but that shouldn't be the case. Like, why can't a girl study in the day shift? Why? What is the problem? Is there any lack of like securities? No, I think don't, because lots of women are working in different places. They are working. They have jobs. So women are out from their house like 7 or 8 p.m. So then what is the problem with students who study in colleges? Like I think they're pretty mature enough.
And do you have any sister or like any cousin sister
Yes,
and
I
all
have
in your
sister.
family?
I have
So
sister. I have sister all
would you
over.
let her attend in a day school or a day shift all alone? She will go to school all alone, come back home afternoon or like in the evening all alone. Would you allow that considering her social securities and all?
Yes,
What do,
if there is enough
as a brother
security,
you say?
then
Just
yes. If
exactly if
there
there
is
is enough
enough
security,
security, I think
exactly
there
because
is. Like
every
our
parents
country is developed. Like you have to agree with me about that.
it is developing. It is not developed yet. It has not.
No, not
So like
developed, but still, it is a developing country. So the security is very high. If you see a
there are like thousand examples which doesn't say that in our country the women are very safe, but it is safe, but I can say that actually, but I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't defend my country like this in an international scale, but I am very like putting myself in a very shameful position. I am saying this because this is what the reality is. You have to understand that this is what the reality is. If I am a brother, being a brother, I know I shouldn't say things like this about my country in an international scale, right? On an international platform where
don't be so fearful. Like nobody will listen our podcast. So like let just
if just one person listen, they should know what's fair. Like I'm not gonna say there is enough security in our country. I wouldn't say there is none. Security is so bad in our country, social security and all. I think people should know what the reality is. That was the thing, right? We want people to know what the thing is, actual thing is. We want it to be fair. So what you're
all
talking
right.
about,
So
what
I think I give you the point that you are making. Like it is a fair actually that lots of the areas are not yet secured enough for girls to stay out late for especially students. So yeah, you get that point. But so let's just say what is the problem with boys being studying with girls? Like what is the problem?
this is a social taboo. There is no problem. There
Yes,
is
social
taboo.
taboo. So if we continue this taboo like this, then there won't be any end to this problem, right? So that should
But
be
the
solved.
hopefully the thing is this thing is like reducing this social taboo or like for some reasons technological advancement and all social advancement, people's mind changing, people are getting more and more developed or like their mind is getting advanced. So this thing is reducing this taboo or like but in a sense this taboo was good at because
No,
tradition is
that's
what
where feminism comes.
manners.
That's where feminism comes. Because
Okay,
I think the feminism is
how?
going to the wrong way. Because if you ask the like whoever is responsible for this day shift or morning shift, everyone will say like you, the girl is not a woman is not should not stay out late or like we cannot do combined education because this is a taboo. Like they will support women empowerment. But that's where we boys are struggling, right? Because if you think that like let's say in order to go to that college I have to spend 5 hours, like no, not 5 hours, that's too much, like 2 hours. And if you calculate 2 hours and 2 hours, that I will come home at like 7 or 8 p.m., then when I will study? Like did you ever think about that?
Of course, there are these things. I also studied in day shift, not for that morning girl morning shift issue, but I also studied on day shift, like day shift education.
Just for example, let's say my college is like for 10, 20, 30 miles far from my home, right? Because
Bro, where do you live? You are living in the
no,
city, right?
let me tell you this, because
How come
we
if this
all
is
know that
possible? Your college will be 30 or 40 miles away from your house. This is insane.
in the first segment of our podcast we all agree with that our education system is weird, because when we apply for our college we have to give 10 choices, like that in 10 of those college I will study, right? And then the choices is up to the boards, like they can decide whatever college I will gonna go, right? And for example that I have 3 or 4 colleges like in the 5 or 10 mile radius of my home. So then I have to go for those colleges. Those are 20-mile radius. Then I had to, like if I don't want to, I had to.
Okay, hypothetically, this is getting, I get that. Let's suppose, say, your
Yes,
college is 30 or 40
like
miles away from your house. Suppose.
like if I want to explain it very deeply like that, in the 10-mile radius, there are like 5 or 6 colleges, and two or three of them are for girls only. And one is morning shift, and two is morning shift, and the other one is day shift. That is like the 10-mile radius. After that, like there are, for example, let's say 10 colleges. Five of them are not combined education, and those other five, there are four of them are like day shift for boys. Then what you're gonna do, you have to go another 5 miles, then you can gather 10 colleges. Like that's how I had to apply for my colleges. And like, for example, I don't know about my destiny, you don't know, we don't know. So like, for
None of
example,
us know.
let's say I had to I got myself admitted into a college which is like 20 miles far from my home, and there is like traffic every day when my college is like closes. Then it will take me about 2 hours to get my home. So if my college closes at 5 p.m. or like 5 and 5:30 p.m., then add 2 hours and like just do the math yourself.
Okay, I
I
get the
will
point. I
come
get the
home at
point. So, like,
7:30.
what's your main problem regarding this? Where feminism
So
coming
like,
in this
I don't
situation?
support feminism. I don't support feminism at all. Like I
You
believe in
don't
gender
support women
equality.
rights.
No, not women rights. I said I support in gender equality. Like don't
in
go
in
for
fact,
women
let
all the
me
time.
assure
Like
you, no, I'm not going for women all the time. There is, in fact, in this particular case, I'm agreeing with you, because if you're talking about gender equality, you can just otherwise, or like, then make another section regarding women rights, right? Then what does it mean? You are already like thinking women as weak. That's why you're creating much
yes,
opportunities, or like giving
yes, yes.
them
That's
some extra
that's the point.
opportunities. Then if you are talking again about gender equality, then there is this contradictory situation. That is, I agree with, there is this contradictory situation.
Like yes, I'm definitely fine with no, not gender equality. I'm fine with feminism, where women are given less opportunities, but even though they deserve those opportunities, then fine, let's just do the feminism. I will be part of that. Definitely I will be part of that. But I don't support feminism where there is already both equal opportunities for men and women, and we get what we deserve. But women are given those extra opportunities that they don't deserve. That's what I'm saying. Like I don't think that should be.
The case,
I think that should be banned.
that should
Like,
be the
do
case.
you
I
agree
don't
with me?
think either, because if you're saying about gender equality, then you are also talking about feminism, or like, woman rights. Not, let's not use the feminism term in here, because there is like another mass talking about feminism, because there are people who are actually taking the advantage of this term in a bad way, very
Yes,
bad way, taking
that's
advantage of this
that's
term.
advantage is like what I wanted to say. Because if you like, if guys like me, if we like protested to the board's personnel or whoever is making this decision, and then you will be like, guess what, that I support feminism. I think girls are weaker than you, they deserve more because they are girl. And that's what I want to attack. Because I think we both deserve equally, right?
Like, these
Then
girls are weak and girls are should be like abducted in home. This thing is going on in our tradition for over centuries. We can just change in 1 or 2 days, but change should be made, right? Change has to be made, because girls are weak. If you treat them weak as always,
then they will be
that
weak.
they're exactly, they will become weak eventually, because if you're treating them that way, they will become like that. This mindset, this filthy mindset has to change. That this is where I agree with you. This is where we all should agree. Those who
That's
don't agree, we should like point them
that
out.
is the sad thing. Because lots of the colleges principal, like those who decide this kind of stuff, and they are doing it on purpose, because boys are gonna get admitted into those college anyway, and lots of the parents of those girls, they are gonna admit their girls into those colleges because of that morning shift thing. That's, I think, very dangerous, because that is changing the mindset of those parents.
But I also agree with girls are exactly. But you have to agree, girls in our country, or like in the subcontinent somewhat, are treated in a very different manner than Western culture. There is problem in Western culture as well. We shall talk about that somewhat. But girls in this area basically are treated in very questionable or like in that kind of way. This is where I
Like
have my complaint.
I think
You
this
agree on that, right?
discrimination, this gender discrimination among students, like boys or girls, I think that is very negative for the boys. Is because, for example, if a boy doesn't get into a reputed college or like in a university, he has to take quadruple the pressure than a girl does, right?
But there are
Than a
other
girl
thing.
has to.
There is round the clock thing that if some girl is capable of, she is good in studies and all, but her family like just only because she is girl, her family or like society or other relative pressurizes her to take a different stream or like a easier stream. This kind of thing you heard of, right? So you can
Bro, like
just say
stop
all the
being a
time the boys
feminist.
has to take.
Stop being a feminist,
I'm not being a
right?
feminist. This is the real picture. This is the real picture. I said I'll be fair about this. Boys also have to what you said that they have to take the quadruple of the pressure
Pressure. Yes, then
then
a
it
girl has
actually
to, because
appears.
like you don't have to listen to talks like from those haters if you are a girl as much you
You
would
don't have
if
to.
you are a boy.
Girls are teased most. Girls are teased most. There is Adam tease as well, but if teasing is a problem, you heard about that, right?
No, but those things are very low, and like lots of people have talked about that so many times that it has become like so normal that it has gone to very a low
But
position.
this is not normal, right? This is not normal.
That the boys discrimination, that is I think very abnormal, because most of the people don't think about that, they won't take it into account.
That conventional mindset, boys are strong, girls are weak. This conventional mindset comes here.
Yes, that's where feminism comes. Like if they think that girls are weak, then there should be feminism everywhere, and I completely disagree with that, completely. And
Feminism, as in this point, how does feminism applies or in this
like,
context?
let me explain. For example, say you think women are pretty weak, weaker than boys, right? So then what you are gonna do? You are gonna give opportunities to women more, right? You are gonna do that.
Yeah.
That's what is feminism. That's the wrong feminism, I think.
No,
Like
no, bro, your feminism concept of feminism is different than
no,
others.
like that is not my feminism concept. Like that is the concept of feminism of the random public. That's what I am trying to say.
There were times
Like
when women are not even allowed to study or like go to school. Like, but
that is like
then
50 years ago. We're
that's
out of
like
that.
100 years ago. Then there
Yes,
comes Begum Rokia. We all know about. She's the one who kind of
those times are gone. Like right, those times are gone. Like
That's kind of
now, I
feminism
think
I always support. That kind of feminism I always support. You heard about the first woman or like female mayor of United States. You ever heard of her?
yes, like that is the thing we don't need to worry about right now, because I of course support that. But what I am trying to point out is that guys like us, we are also being discriminated, like where we shouldn't be discriminated. I know that you didn't get that, but still,
There, like, if you can clear out with that example, that might help.
what can I'm giving example all day. So like let's give example, like due to gender quota, you have heard of gender quota, right?
There is this kind of quota, gender quota. I think
Yes,
that
gender
kind of
quota is
quota has
like,
been
it is
abolished.
basically is there in every colleges, like for a job in a school or college, there have to be 50% or 60% female teacher than a guy teacher, male teacher. Like you have heard of that, right?
Primary school, in primary schools.
Yes, in primary school. That's what I want to say. Like why in
That
primary
makes
school?
sense because that makes sense. In primary school, there are basically primary school in our country means grade 1 to 5. In this
Yes.
classes, the child or they're basically their kids. So to take care of them, to adore them, to make them interested in study, a female teacher is best, right? Because
Why
a
do you
male
think female teacher is best? Like what is wrong with the guys?
they are
They are
motherly,
motherly.
they are affectionate. Exactly. Of course. What would you prefer in a place?
No,
What should I say?
I don't prefer in any guys or like any girls. I prefer that,
Good teacher.
yes,
Good
good teacher
teacher.
who is qualified, who deserve that post. Like
Of course.
that's what
Of
I
course, there
want
is this
to,
question.
and that's where a lot of the
in primary school, the study or like actually academics is less important, but to make a student interested in studying or like teaching them manners, making them interested in coming school is more important than teaching them, oh, a plus b whole square is equal to a square plus 2ab plus b square. Am I clear?
But what about like military position? What about military position in army, police? They are also gender quota, like 30% or 20%. I don't know the exact number, but there is like
Just
in
count
police,
out of
for
100
example.
how much female officers you can find. Just go. I think not even 10. So
But
quota is
that is
not
the thing
actually applying here.
because they don't deserve that post. Then they should not be given
What
that
are you
post.
talking about? They shouldn't desert the post. There is this social taboo. They, of course, women, of course, deserve their post. If they can come this much, they of course deserve their post. There is not a single case in army or like in defenses. If you're qualified enough, they're gonna just
Yes,
not accept you if
yes.
you're a female or yeah anything.
That's what I'm
There,
saying. That if you are qualified enough, then you will get the job anyway. Then why there is need of gender quota? Then why is the need? Like then why gender quota is a thing that you have to get this amount of or like these percentages of women anyway? Then why is the thing? Like you explain to me now.
bro, you are taking this the wrong way. I'm
No,
not sure
I'm
you
not
are taking
making
this
this
the
the
wrong.
wrong way.
Just let me tell you, are trying to win a debate with me here, but I'm not here for a debate.
No, I'm not
Actually,
making a
I'm not here
debate.
for a debate. You're trying to win this debate, but I'm not here for debate. I'm just here for fact. You have some like confusions or like have some kind of wrong concepts about feminism and all. You kind of actually expressing your hatred, which shouldn't be the case, by the way.
No, not hatred, bro. Like you are coloring me. You are coloring me so bad. Oh my
I'm not
god.
coloring you. It people can sense it in your tone, bro. Just mind it. I'm here to give a friendly advice.
Oh
I'm not.
my
Why
god,
would
bro.
I color you? Why would I color you? I'm not like that
At
kind of
first,
feminism
I
I'm not even
said that
supporting.
I support feminism. If there is
That's not
left,
your great card
let
to say, right? Bro, now you're
like
trapped.
nah, no. Just tell me about this that question I just asked. Then why is there a need for gender quota? If there is like if you are a woman, then you would get the job if you are qualified enough. Then why there is the need for gender quota?
Should I
Why?
teach you biology right now?
No,
Women are
I'm not talking about.
from the time
I'm
of
not,
creation, women are treated as sophisticated, and it is the case because women are mostly mentally, then in some cases physically, are sophisticated than male. So the physical going to a defense or like defense training is a very physically extorting or like physically
then
exhausting.
women should not go. Then women should not go. Right?
No, of course women should go.
Like
That's why
if
there are criterias. That's why there is criterias. They have to fulfill that much of criteria. Then who are qualified, they will go. Of course, you can't compare like you can just put a woman in a hand fight or like in a hand-to-hand combat with a male. That doesn't make sense.
but
Of
still
course, there
there
are
is
some
like hand to hand moments
combat
that
hand-to-hand. Of course, happens. They are like extraordinary kind of women.
but yes, of course I agree with that. There are some extraordinary kind of moments, but there are not enough extraordinary moments that we see every day. Like you can't disagree with me about that. You can't.
Of course, this is the natural rule, I guess. This is the
Yes.
nature. The
Yes,
nature,
but what we are doing, we are applying feminism in the wrong post.
not actually, I'm not convinced yet with your point. Actually, I'm not convinced yet because
I will not be able to convince you in 1,000 years. I
you
won't.
can convince anyone because the way you're talking, like, if they're not physically strong enough, they shouldn't go to the army, they
No,
shouldn't go to the
I'm not
defense.
about physical. Like
If they're
for
not
example,
qualified enough, there shouldn't be quota and all. But
yes, that's what I want to say. Like if they shouldn't be qualified.
bro, let me just say
Yes,
that
yes, explain me.
whoever made the system, of course they research more than you and me. Of course they know more than you and me. There are logics and everything behind their quota system and all their system. There is logic, right? Without logic or like
Boys
proper
for day shift, that is the logic.
social security.
Then what is the problem for like let's forget about combined education. Like we're in still in the stone age. Like let's just say what is the problem if girl is in one room and boys are in another room, but we still we both get to study in morning shift. Like, can't we do that?
I didn't get the question, bro. This is getting lengthy. This is getting so much lengthy. Bro, we are
If boys are studied in a separate room and girls are being studied in other room, then is there any problem now? Like, we
that,
don't see the girls anymore. Like, why
that,
is the
that
problem?
that's not a problem. That's not even a topic of feminism and all. This is
Yes,
social
that is
taboo.
the solution. Yes, solution. But that's what I'm saying. That is the taboo. But some people might take that opportunity to use it as a feminism. That's what I wanted to say.
Bro, you'll get beaten by people. I'm damn sure. If someone here,
I didn't. I should not upload this episode.
you would get beaten by people because this is
I
damn
have
controversial.
points. I have points. I have points
I
everywhere.
also have my points everywhere.
No, I gave you the
Bro,
points that you first talked about, but the qualification point and this separate room education system, like let's just forget about combined education that don't want to study in, but let's just forget about. But like if you want to compare this to an Western society, you will definitely see that there is no like single male or female education separately. You won't see that.
that's not the question of feminism or like gender discrimination. That's a social taboo, right? You agree with that?
Yes, that's social taboo.
That's a social taboo prevailing in our country for ages, and this is changing. Hopeful thing is this is changing, and this will keep changing with the growing mindset of people.
So do you think this day shift and morning shift thing is changing in next couple of years?
This is a dumb thing to ask. I don't even talk about that. This is a very dumb thing to talk about. I don't
But
want to
this
talk
thing
about that, bro.
has to be solved. Like there is a major problem. Like
That might solve. I don't know. Might solve. Might changes come to them. The schools which are like intelligent school can be like coding several or few years. I don't know. There is chances.
what is the problem you see with combined education? Like what do you think is the problem? Like why combined education can't be a solution for this?
There is no problem, according to me. Combined education, there is no
Yes,
problem.
there is no problem. Actually, there is no problem, but people are not doing that. They are there where the taboo comes.
Exactly.
And lots of
Exactly.
people are taking this taboo as a feminism thing. They are giving excuses that we are feminists, and that's what I'm not an anti-feminism or like anti-feminist. Like I believe in gender equality. That's it. So
You have to believe in something, otherwise there is problem.
so
You have to believe in
the
something.
fake feminists, I want to say that if you support feminism, like I don't know, over feminism, it's completely okay, but don't try to do the movement for the female superiority. Like there should be gender equality, not female superiority or like personal
The
superiority, right?
wholesome. If we start talking about feminism, or like there are different shades of feminism, right? There are different.
We have to make sections of episodes about this.
If we start talking about this is gonna get lengthy. We will talk about that in some day, I guess. When people will actually hear us, we will talk about that. So this is, I guess, enough for today. I
I
guess
hope
this
no
is.
one watches or listens to this podcast.
No, no. Why would you hope that?
No, no, you were said I'm gonna get beaten for talking about this. That's
There
why
is
I don't want anyone to listen to this.
that possibilities. Let's hope people won't take this the wrong way.
Yes,
So
that's
there,
what I hope. Like people will get my message. That's what I want to say.
but the thing that you talked about, that shift problem, if someone, since we are doing an English podcast and if this is going to international platform, so some might not get this kind of situation of this day and morning situation, because in like most of the education system, there doesn't exist any shift system and all. This prevails in our country and like India and this subcontinent stuff and all. So if someone in a very international scales hear this, they might not get our point. You actually tried to make basing on this shift issue, you tried to build your talk or like tried to argue. You should have
Yes,
chosen a like
That was my
strong point.
main platform.
Yeah, that was your basic point. You tried to build a argue on that. So you should have taken a more strong point.
I'm angry about that. I am angry about that shift
I understand your,
because
I understand that fact because there is reasons to get angry. I am also
those who listens to this podcast, I hope they also understands to this. And that is it for today's episode. Hope you like it. Maybe not, but still, I am Tasrif. That's Satman.
so this is for today. Guys, stay safe, stay home. Hear you all on next episode. Till then, goodbye.
I'm very embarrassed right now, but still, I don't care. So we'll see you guys in the next episode. Stay safe, stay home.
Till then, goodbye.
Goodbye.